My coach benched me for the entire championship season, and I only learned why years later because he was quietly covering for a heart condition nobody had caught yet. I was 17, the best player on my high school basketball team by every statistic that mattered, and I spent our entire championship season watching from the bench for reasons my coach refused to fully explain. "Just trust me," he kept saying, infuriatingly, every single time I pushed for an answer. I was furious the entire season, convinced he simply didn't like me, or was punishing me for some slight I couldn't identify. Teammates whispered theories. My parents even complained to the athletic director, getting nowhere. We lost in the semifinals that year, a game I was certain we'd have won easily with me on the court. I quit the team the following season out of pure resentment, walked away from a sport I'd loved since childhood, and never spoke to that coach again. 15 years later, working an unrelated office job, I ran into an old assistant coach from that team at a mutual friend's wedding. A few drinks in, he told me something that changed how I understood that entire painful season. Here's the twist that took 15 years to finally reach me. During a routine physical before that season began, a team doctor had flagged something unusual in my EKG results, a minor irregularity that, combined with my family's medical history he'd apparently pulled during the screening, suggested a possible underlying heart condition requiring further testing before I could safely play full contact minutes at a competitive level. My parents, it turned out, had actually been informed at the time, but had insisted, adamantly, on keeping it quiet, terrified that revealing it would end my athletic scholarship prospects before they'd even begun, and equally convinced the doctor was simply being overly cautious about what they believed was nothing serious. My coach, caught in an impossible position, unable to disclose confidential medical information without my parents' consent, and unwilling to risk my life on the court while genuine uncertainty remained, made a quiet decision entirely on his own. He'd bench me for the season rather than force the issue publicly, protecting me the only way he legally and ethically could without breaking a family's confidence he'd been trusted with. He never told me because he'd promised my parents he wouldn't, a promise he apparently kept for the rest of his life. Based on what the assistant coach told me that night, I got the follow-up testing done myself, 15 years late, mostly out of stunned curiosity after that conversation. It turned out the irregularity had, in fact, been a real but manageable condition, one that would have needed monitoring and moderate precautions, not a full ban from sports, but real enough that an undiagnosed intense championship season could genuinely have been dangerous. I sat with that revelation for a long time. 15 years of resentment toward a man who'd quietly protected me at the cost of his own reputation with a furious 17-year-old and an entire town of confused fans. I tracked down his family, learning he'd passed away 3 years earlier. I never got the chance to properly thank him or apologize for walking away from him in anger without ever asking him directly what was really happening. I visit his grave now, once a year, usually around championship season, just to sit for a while with a man who protected a kid's life and let that same kid hate him quietly for over a decade instead of explaining himself. Some of the people who seem to be holding you back are actually the ones holding you up. You just don't always get to see it until years after the season's already over.